Hey now, Peter Grosso, Pocket Pete, here with Mel Brocking, my resident videographer, and a lot of my friends' videographers. How are you today?
Good.
How does it feel to be on the other side?
Uh, I'm getting used to it, honestly. I think we all have to, right?
Who's we?
Everybody,
Okay,
everybody.
I suppose I did at some point. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
So tell me, here's what I'd like to get to know you and what makes you tick. Can What I like to do in these moments is ask you, and you could take time. Tell me what your first memory is ever. Go back to the earliest possible memory and tell me what it is
Of just life.
of life. What's your first memory in your whole life?
Like my first memory,
Your first.
probably uh my mom putting me in for a nap, and um she used to put me in a sleeping bag because she would make my bed like covered with like my stuffed animals every morning. So I
Okay.
wouldn't nap in my bed. I would go in a sleeping bag. And then I remember I'd like crawl out of my sleeping bag and I'd find a little sunspot coming through the window on the floor. And I'd lay in the sunspot like a little cat.
Okay. So that's the early. How old do you think you were for that memory?
Oh, little. Like I was little. Probably, I would say maybe like three, right? Like maybe, yeah. I was little because my parents were still together and I was in my childhood home. So I was, yeah, three, four. I don't know.
Okay. Do you think there's a reason why you remember it, or it's just your first conscious memory?
Um, I don't know. Maybe just a comforting memory. Maybe something that just like brings me back to like being like feeling comforted as a child. Not really sure,
Okay. Um,
but at least it's not a bad memory. Like I don't go to like
no,
something
definitely
bad
not.
automatically, which is I guess good.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, what what brings you to your art? Like why are you this type of artist? What does it feed?
Hmm. This is why I need you to prep me on these questions because they're like big questions
Yeah, I
that
know.
I'm not like um I don't know, some of these I feel like I need to like put thought into because that's like a very like that's intricate question. Like there could be like so many reasons to that, but I could honestly tell you that whatever makes me creative and gives me like the feeling of like what angle or what or timing or like the mood of every I had that for my whole life. Like I could see things as a kid in that way. So like even if it's not something that I'm like it could be nothing I'm a part of, but I could just be out with friends or like I just catch moments and everything. So when I was younger, that's something I was always doing at any age in
You
any
catch moments mentally. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, like I create that things in my head. Like I see things and
Hmm.
I see things as like almost like cinematically. My mind just does it. So whether I'm like working or not working or doing something for fun or whatever, it's just a part of every day. So
Hmm.
I could wake up in the morning and see something special about the way the light's coming in through my window and create that moment for myself. So I do that all day long.
Right.
So me being able to create that for other people is my favorite thing to do because I see it all day, like in my own life, in my own world. I'm like seeing that all day. So for me to be able to do that for work is like the ultimate dream
So
for me.
are you going to, let's say you come to me or you go to Remodel Rob or any of the other people, and are you trying to capture the essence of that business or the essence of that moment, or are you picturing like something that's going to sit well with the audience?
I think
What's
it's a mix. I think it's a mix of all things because I think a lot has to do with um, how I perceive you or how I perceive, Rob in his business or Vanessa or and how I see you all differently. So you're gonna have like a mix of being on brand, right? Like you staying on your brand, but then also those moments and the things that I see for you. Or does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's just kind of a mixture. And I think that my favorite thing is being able to like what's the word? Like having creative control is my favorite thing. So like Rob will be like, just do what you do, you know? And then I just choose for the day. Like, is it gonna be funny? Is it gonna be, artistic? Is it so it's like just kind of a mix of all the things and then but trying to I guess stay on brand for everybody and so that you're being marketed the way that you want to be seen, that like you see yourself and you like everything and you see your best self. So it's just like a mix of how I think you want to be seen and how I see you and how I think other people see you, right? So it's all of it in one. So if you were to say have somebody else come in and video you for the day, it's going to be like that person is going to see something totally different than me and put it together totally different than I would,
Mhm.
you know? So it's just a mix of all of it, I think. And I'm not really like I am not technical. So a lot of people that do what I do, it's like they could be very technical and stuff. Like they have all the bells and whistles and the big case they roll in with like all the gadgets and all this stuff. And I am not. I mean, you've seen it. I am like very simple, just
Do you
simple.
think that can at times take away from a video because you're almost over polishing it when you're doing that, those other, the bells and whistles, as you say?
I think that we just work all differently. I don't know. Like I'm just speaking for myself and saying that I don't need all the you know I just don't need all that stuff. I think, um, I mean, like you'll sometimes, like yesterday, you didn't even tell me what we were doing. You're just
Mhm.
like, be here at this time and whatever. And then, we roll with it because I don't like to prepare too much or plan too much because even if I'm shooting a wedding, the best parts, and everybody will always say it, the best parts and photos or video clips that I get were the unplanned. It's never the planned stuff
Right.
because I don't think anybody really knows what they want. I think they have an idea of what they want. And I think when you just roll with it and you don't overthink,
Yeah.
then the result is always so much better. And that's just my experience.
Especially if you're open to having a good time with it.
Hmm.
Like like I love when we're doing something. I'm like, I don't know what I have 1/8 of an idea, and then we make something out of it. You
Right.
know, like
Yeah.
our
Yeah. So all this social media stuff now, I think that a lot of people are missing the big, like for me, I think it's supposed to be fun. I think it's free. It's like it's marketing, right? You can market now for yourself, whereas like and everyone has for the longest time commercials and all the things,
Mhm.
so everyone has that ability now to like really put themselves out there on all these different platforms, and I don't really know if it's to be taken too seriously. I think that people want to see everyone's authentic self. And there's so many of me out there. There's so many people doing what you do or what Rob's doing, whatever. So why you? Why me? Why Rob? Because
Yeah,
specifically, somebody would want you. So you need to show up as yourself and have fun.
I
You
think
know?
where people forget where they're dropping their videos is a place that people go to get away from their stuff.
Yeah.
And they want to be entertained or they want their heart touched. They want something where, like, no different than if they had 10 minutes to watch television,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
They're not going on there to learn about mortgages or anything that does not pertain to give me 5 minutes of relief before I
Right.
can do the next thing, you know?
Yeah. And I'm gonna say I have all my clients are extremely different from each other, and you're all reaching to a different audience, and I'll say the only thing that is consistent is when you're putting out videos that are entertaining, it always gets the most views, the most, it's your
Mhm.
and I'm not saying you shouldn't talk about what you do and your profession and like what you bring to the table. Like, of course, there should be like a mixture. But I think that the purpose for all of this is really to, I mean, stay relevant, obviously, because nowadays everyone's going to look you up to meet you before they meet you, if that
Right.
makes sense. So that's how people are going to find you. And how do you want people to see you? How do you want people to find you? And you want to be yourself and you want to have fun, and that draws the people in, whether they're going to ever work with you. But it's like, I remember when I first started working for Hellbent, and Kanish said, my customers are not on Instagram. But I said, their kids are, you know maybe their grandkids are, if so, and they are. And that's how everybody needs to think now. It's like,
Yeah.
you
Both have
might.
customers on Instagram because Ben is trying to get
Yeah.
business with him, So
Yeah.
it's yeah,
and
they're not.
then and then that brings us to the collabing, how nice the collabing is and how it brings everybody together,
Yeah.
from because it's Ben. There's so many people that reached out to me about Rob,
Hmm.
and uh like people making jokes, they see Rob's vans or whatever, and they think I'm gonna pop out of the side of it, and it's like, I'm never in a van. But like they're associating
Hmm.
all of us with all of us, and it's fun, and it's not it's like exciting to reach people, and to interact with everybody. And I don't know. I mean, it's definitely, I'm lucky because it's my gig fully, like everything we're all involved in now is my thing. So I'm very happy about it. I mean, I know there's some people resistant to it that don't really want to do the social media stuff, or, market themselves that way. But I don't know. I think,
That is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
this is where the world is.
Yeah.
And if you want to sell your product or yourself,
Hmm.
you have to go where the people are.
Yeah.
And what what is the biggest challenge you think people have? You think they're nervous to get on camera? Is that the biggest thing? Do they not see the value? What gets people in their own way?
Um, I would say the first thing is nobody wants to be on camera. Not everybody is like, I mean, I'm personally better behind the camera. Like, I hate all of this so far. Like, I hate everything that
Okay.
I'm saying. Um so not all of us are as good as you on camera and can like riff and like come up with stuff. Some of us, we're repeating the same word. I probably said like 5 million times in this conversation just because I'm not comfortable like sitting here and doing this all the time. Where, I mean, you probably at this point, like, you're very used to it and comfortable. So I think it's just getting used to. And you know, I would say that's number one. I would say mostly, like, people don't want to be in their own stuff, which is what everyone needs to be doing, including myself. And then I think it's probably financially, you know, I don't know that everybody knows how to I think it's intimidating for people to have to do it themselves. So if they don't know somebody or can afford to hire somebody to do it and they feel like they have no clue how to do it, then they're kind of stuck where, they're in that situation where they can't really figure out how to move forward with it. So it's just easier to go, forget it, we're not doing that,
Yeah.
you know? And that those are probably the top two, I would say. But you need one. So, for example, we're all getting business for each other. We are. Even, for me, working for you or Vanessa or Rob. Rob tells me, like, I need you to print me out stickers or whatever because I got to give them to people they're asking. So it's important to know that it really works. Like, it's working. It's even working. And this is another thing I want everybody to know and realize. If you're not getting likes, I don't even have a big following, right? I don't need the likes, it's the views. It's the views. I don't think that people realize that that's what it's all about. It's about everybody seeing it constantly and every day, constantly putting stuff in everybody's face. It's like you're going to be the first person they think of. Whether they're going out of their way to like it or share it,
Mm-hmm.
constantly seeing you
Mm-hmm.
is going to, like, you're being recognized and you're being thought of. And then you'll be the first person in a conversation that somebody thinks of and says, "What about Try Pocket Pete?" Because you're just in there, you
Right.
know?
So you think more videos better than perfection, right?
Yeah,
Collabs are huge. You and I were just talking about how great collabs.
huge. Yes,
I love collabs.
me too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could follow the line. Like Vanessa had you do something for her, then I hired you, and then I connect you to Rob, and on it
Mhm.
goes. That's social media right there.
Right.
So it's um yeah, like what do you think the best collabs are? Do you think it's in network, like me and Rob, you, Kanish? Do you think like when we do our pizza stuff, like when we did the Chubs, like that seemed to be
Chubbs did really well.
Chubs killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do I think are the best collabs?
Yeah. Do you think like constantly searching new collabs, or like us, you and I, and like people that I continually collab with? Do you think I'm better off if I had to choose, which I'm not choosing, I'm doing it all.
Yeah.
Um, but if I had to choose, should I be going to a local pizza place, or should I be partnering with somebody I do business with to cross collab?
I think that it's a small world and we're all connected, whether you end up at Chubb's or Zona out east, or, Kanish is bringing out, Mia's dish at
Mhm.
Zona. Do you know how many people messaged him and said, "You didn't call me, you were by my house, and you didn't tell us you were out here"?
Right.
Everybody
Hmm.
is connected. And I think everyone should be doing it all if they can.
Yeah.
You know, all of it, I think, is, again, it's all about having fun and making it a good experience,
Yeah. And I
and
think in business.
collabing and meeting people. Like, I so the first thing I did for you, this is how small of a world it is. The first thing that we ever worked together on was the ice cream, was or yogurt swirls and twirls. And
Hmm.
that day Rob walked in, and Rob said, "I know you. Don't you work at the barber shop?"
Hmm.
And I was like, "Yes." And so it's crazy because, and then from the barber shop, a customer there walked me into Kanish. And then I started working for Hellbent. So it's weird. It's like we are all connected. We just have to take opportunity when it presents itself and do all of it, do everything.
Right.
Anytime, I'm offered to walk through a door, I walk through it and find out, and it's usually always like a really good experience. And even if it's not a great experience, it's a lesson. It's like we get better. We're always getting better and learning, and
Yeah.
so I don't know how to, I guess, to answer the question is, I don't think anybody should stay doing like one thing and limiting themselves. I think that they should be working with all different types and, businesses, and really just reaching out to whoever, that it just makes it better.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that business owners or entrepreneurs or anybody that's running their own anything forgets that their number one thing to do is marketing.
Hmm.
Like they get caught up in the day to day and they don't realize, like, especially like me, Rob, like I can get sucked into so much stuff, but if I forget that my job as the head of the company is to create more awareness of the company,
Hmm.
then that's where I fall behind. Like I need to be first and foremost the ambassador of the brand. So I need to find time for you. I need to get on camera. I need to collab. I need to do those things. Otherwise, I can't grow because no one knows me. And I need to be known, Melissa. I need to be known.
Strongly agree. And I say that to, Kanish doesn't have time, Rob doesn't have time. But
Mhm.
when you hire somebody to like come to you, and you make that time for it, or and it's not that, it doesn't have to be that big of a deal. It's not that time consuming. Like, we do things really quickly. Yesterday was pretty quick,
Yeah.
you know. Um but having somebody that, like me, that comes through to help you with all of that creatively, um it's huge.
Yeah.
It really is. And I've seen, just in a few months with Rob, the following, like, he's gotten, like, now we're over 2,000, and it's huge, and it's making a difference. It makes a difference, and I've seen that for everybody, and it is a small world, and everybody's watching and paying attention, and eventually it pays off. It
Yeah.
does. It pays off, and it does for everybody. Everybody works together, it pays off. And it's you're right. It is like vital for businesses to market themselves. It's
Yeah.
vital
Yeah.
because
That's
there's someone else, there's someone else that is doing it, and if you don't, like, that person will take the business from you
yeah.
easily.
Yeah. Anybody who's not doing their own social media, like they're not posting and doing video, someone's out there eating their lunch. That's it.
Mhm. Yeah, that's just the way it is now. But it's not a bad thing. It's a really, really good thing
Yeah. And it can be
because
fun.
we have,
Once you get it,
yeah.
once you're comfortable, we have a great time. You
Mhm.
almost peed on my floor yesterday.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I definitely did. And it's funny because I really need to start setting up behind the scenes,
Mhm.
because no one even knew, Crystal and Sandy we were like silently laughing. We
Mhm.
were laughing so hard nothing was coming out. So, it's fun and it makes a difference, and um I think it's necessary for everybody to do it. Not just because I'm the one
Mhm.
that he would be hired, but I do, even for myself. I've had to make my own content for myself,
Yeah.
which I'm usually not good at. I could see things for other people, and I love doing stuff for businesses, and I just needed to put myself out there so that people can meet me and say, I want to work with her, like she's what I'm looking for. They
Mhm.
wouldn't know if they were looking for me if I didn't put myself out there, and so people have to connect with you, and that's how they connect with you. And I'm saying too, I think, like, for your profession too, and I speak for myself, it's hard for people to, like, say there's something, whether it's you or, let's say, Rob, you need something done, right? Say you want to sell your house, or you want to fix your house, or, and you don't know who to go to, and or haven't had a good experience in the past with, let's say, selling your house and the realtor that you used, or, somebody fixed something in your house and they didn't do it right. Like, say you had a bad experience.
Mhm.
You you need to feel comfortable before you, like, it's hard to choose, and it's almost intimidating to, like, know who to choose. So when you can see that person up front
Mhm.
beforehand, it's so helpful, you
I've
know.
gone to listing appointments and I've sat with the family and they've said to me, "It feels like I already know you.
Yes,
It
there you
feels like
go.
it
Right.
feels like we're friends already."
Yeah.
Especially once they meet me and they see I'm still this person
Hmm.
outside the camera.
Yeah.
Uh, that I'm just as loud. I'm still throwing my hands around in their kitchen.
Hmm.
Um, they feel like they've known me for years because they've been following
Yeah, it makes people
me.
comfortable
Hmm.
because they know what to expect, and they don't feel like they're just picking out of, like, a hat. They know what to expect because, like you said, they feel like they know you already. I was just at something the other day. I think it was the pies in Santa, and someone that works with you came up to me and introduced himself, and I said, "Oh," and he goes, "I know who you are. Love all your videos, blah blah." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So it's nice. It's like it connects people, and it makes people feel more confident with choosing what's right for them if they feel like they already they've already met you and they know you and they know what to expect.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
All right. Mel, I appreciate you. This is fun. Will you chat with me again? Was this
I don't
fun?
know. We'll say I don't know. I might maybe, but it depends on what, like you can't put this whole thing up.
Why?
I don't know because you got to put like the good snippets up. This was like a run on of me repeating the